Hello and welcome back to the lab. Haven't we seen this before? Well, yes, we have. It's another HP 3448 digital voltmeter on the bench. I haven't even finished working on the last one yet, and a new one has come in for restoration. I don't really need another 3440A, but I got such a good deal on it that I just couldn't resist, so I had to make an offer for it, and it arrived a couple days ago, and here we go. So um, I was hoping actually to use this one to compare it to the last one, which I actually haven't finished working on yet, and maybe find out uh, how I can um, understand better what the failure mode is on the previous one, which I haven't been able to really completely isolate and bring back to full specifications. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it with this one either. But anyway, um, so this one is a few years newer. The last one was from 1964, and this one is from 1967. So it's 3 years newer, but it's still pretty old. It has a few differences on the front panel. The power switch now is a separate switch instead of being connected to the sample rate pot. There's still a switch on the sample rate uh, control, but that actually switches it into the hold so it to completely stop the sample rate. So there is a switch here on the pot, which the other one doesn't have. The other one just uses the switch to turn the instrument on and off. Um, I notice also on the rear panel that has the new standard style power connector instead of the old oval style power connector, which um, nobody really wants. So that's really the only difference is on the outside of this instrument that you can see. It's pretty dirty, pretty grungy, so we're going to have to spend some time cleaning it up and removing the calibration stickers and the asset tags and the inventory little dots and stuff. And there's a lot of, I don't know, some kind of substance on the top, and I'm sure there's stuff all around that I'll have to spend some time cleaning. Also, the display window has a really bad delamination problem where that polarizing filter has really come loose from the display window on this instrument. And so I'm going to have to replace this display window. I do have a piece of plexiglass, amber colored plexiglass that I can use to do that. So that's probably what we're going to do. First is do a complete cosmetic restoration of this instrument. Electrically, I've noticed a couple things. The 10-volt range seems to be working just fine. Let's put some voltage in here if I can get that going. And I have 9.9 volts into it, and it reads 9.904. I'm sure that can be adjusted out on that little error. Um, I also noticed that the 1000 millivolt range reads approximately 3% low, which seems to be the same symptom as the previous instrument. So they may have the same defective component in them that I haven't been able to discover as of yet. I think it's probably the photo chopper. I don't really know. So we may not be able to get this one to work either, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Now, I also noticed that in addition to the lower two ranges being out of tolerance, I noticed that the range switch does not select the 100-volt range or the 100 millivolt range. You'll notice when I switch the range switch from 10 volts to 100 volts, the decimal point does not shift. Even though I have the 100-volt range selected, it stays in the 10-volt range. If I go to the 1000-volt range, the decimal point shifts by 2 digits. That means the 1000-volt range is working. But the 100-volt range, when you select it, it goes immediately to the 10-volt range. Also, the 100 millivolt range, when you select that, it stays in the 1000 millivolt range. You cannot select the 100 millivolt range or the 100-volt range. So that's obviously a switching logic problem. It's probably a problem in the A1 assembly in the plug-in module. I can take a closer look at that. And because I do have an instrument that's completely functional in that area, I can just simply compare um, the one that's working to the one that does not work properly. And I should be able to very quickly find the failure in this plug-in module using that method. I'm not even going to try to select the auto range function because manual ranging does not even work. So I'm sure auto ranging does not work either. So basically, the only range that actually works properly is the 10-volt range on this instrument, in the 1,000-volt range, but I'm not even going to use the 1,000-volt range, really. So that's what's going on electrically with this particular instrument. But first, I would like to try to get it cleaned up a little bit, remove the stickers, and I'm going to work on the display window and maybe replace that and see if we can get it looking at least like a brand new instrument. All right, so I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but I've disassembled the whole unit and I've taken the display window out. And if you look carefully, you can see all these little swirls in here. Um, that was where the adhesive was that attached. This is a polarizing filter. This little, it's a grating, right? A little polarization filter that has horizontal polarization gratings in it, and it was originally laminated onto the front of the amber colored plexiglass. Um, and there's remaining adhesive on there, and that's what all the swirls are, and it makes it very difficult to see what's going on with the Nixies. Well, I do have a piece of replacement plexiglass. Um, it seems like it's not quite long enough. Now, I do have an entire sheet of plexiglass, an entire sheet of it. Um, but I'm not an expert at cutting this stuff, so I'm not sure how well that'll work. But I'm going to give it a shot, see if I can cut something to this exact size and drill some holes into it. I'm going to take this out into my garage and set it up on the table saw, and maybe I'll be able to cut it with my table saw without um, damaging either the saw or the plexiglass. I'm not sure, but we'll see how that goes. All right, I made my cut. I didn't lose any fingers, and I think I did a pretty good job. Let's peel the paper off. And there is our new amber replacement window. Let's put it in and see how it works. All right, so after cleaning it all up and reassembling the instrument with the new plexiglass display window, it's much easier to read in person. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's much easier to read. Um, I have to admit, it wasn't the easiest reassembly job I've ever done. It was quite a struggle. Um, my hat goes off to those amazing women that must have worked on this stuff all day long in the assembly line back then. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure why I thought I was under the impression that it was from 1967. But when I had this instrument apart, I found date codes from 1970. So it's not really from 1967. It's actually from 1970. At least the mainframe part of it is. I'm not sure about the plug-in. So the cosmetic restoration is now complete. We still have some work on the electronics to do for sure, but that will have to do it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned. So when I continue work on this particular 3440A, And I may actually work on the original one as well. Um, Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again.